everybody, namaste. So today we're going to do just a few hip openers and hamstring openers. For those of you who have some back issues, it always helps to kind of open up those hips and those hamstrings if you're having those kind of problems. And we'll also open up the front of our hips, our hip flexors as well. But we're going to start just lying on our backs. So just try to get in a nice comfortable position on your back to start out. And we're going to just activate our Ujjayi breath. So that soft ocean sounds restricting the back of your throat. So let's just do nice, even breaths in and out. Letting your back just lay in a nice neutral position on the floor. It feels good just sometimes to lay on a semi-hard surface to help with that lower back. And you can do this for as long as you want. But when you're ready, we're just going to go ahead and bend our knees, and we're going to bring our feet onto the floor just a few inches from our buttocks. And then we're going to go ahead and walk our feet together so that our feet are together, and we're going to drop our knees open. So this is our first nice little hip opener. It's always lovely to just lay here, relax in your Shavasana. So this is with your hips open. So this is our Supta Baddha Konasana. So we're on our backs. And you can take several breaths here. This is a wonderful hip opener. It feels very good on your back. Just make sure that your belly is holding your spine, and then see if you can push your lower back into the floor. If you would like, you can take your hands and rest them on your thighs to get a little more opening. And then see if you can relax the shoulders back into the mat. Neck is nice and long, chin is slightly tucked. And again, you can stay in this for a while, but we're going to move on for the sake of the video. So one of my favorite things to do is to gradually scoot my feet forward on the mat. So you're going to feel your hips opening in a different manner. So I just opened up my hips in just a little bit more in a different direction. And we're going to just continue to extend our feet at whatever pace you want, because it feels good just to kind of move your feet forward and let your knees stay flopped open. But I'm going to go ahead and just gradually scoot my feet forward. My feet are still together. And then maybe a little more. And it can be a little more intense. Notice I'm still breathing. And then when you're ready, you're going to stretch your legs all the way out to the front of the mat. Just relax back down in Shavasana. Maybe tilt your pelvic bone up. Press your lower back into the mat. And then relax your shoulders back down into the mat. And then bring your feet together. Point your toes. And then bring your arms overhead, point your fingers towards the back of the room and your toes towards the front. Stretch and reach to opposite sides of the room. And then maybe reach over to the right side a little bit more. And then bring it to the left side a little bit more. Come back to center, stretch in both directions. And then see if you can flex your feet, dig your heels into the ground. And then point your toes again. You're going to feel a little bit more pull, so a little bit more lengthening. All right. And then go ahead and relax your arms down. walk your heels over to the right side of your mat, cross your left ankle over your right, and then scoot your shoulders just a little bit to the right. We're gonna make a nice little banana shape. Go ahead and take your left wrist with your right hand, lower your hands back down to the ground, and then relax your arms down on the ground. And then if you can, just turn your head to the left, and then relax down into that nice C shape, that banana shape. Remember that you're still using your Ujjayi breath. And then we're going to come back to center and then take it to the other side. So right ankle goes over the left, scooching our shoulders to the left, and then taking the left hand and then grasping the right wrist with that left hand. Ah, feels so good. We're fanning those right ribs open this time. One more breath. And then walk it back to center. Just stretch and reach to opposite sides of the room again. Feels lovely. And then if you have to, you can bend your knees and then bring your knees in your chest, or just go ahead and bring your knees in your chest. And then you can either hold opposite elbows, you can hold wrists or hands wherever you can. If you need to put your hands on your knees, you can do that as well. We're just going to hug our knees in. I want you to make your neck nice and long. Make sure your entire back is on the floor. So you don't want your buttocks to come up off the floor. We want all of our back on that floor, the back of our head, nice long neck. Chin is slightly tucked. And then if you'd like, just rock from side to side, giving your back a nice massage. Take your time. And then keep those knees in your armpits, even pull them a little bit more into your armpits. Flex your feet and then bring your feet towards the ceiling. We're going to do a happy baby here. So your legs are staying bent. Now, if you want to just hold on to your thighs, that's fine. If you have a strap, you can put your strap over your legs. I don't have a strap close by. Or you can hold on with your hands if you can get your feet. But you still want your shoulders to be on the ground, your buttocks to be on the ground. So if you're lifting up any of those parts, then maybe just hold on a little bit lower. And this is perfectly fine. So just breathe into your happy baby. And then you can rock from side to side here too. And if you're at home watching this, you can even coo like a baby if you want. It's your happy baby. It's your practice. Rocking from side to side. Feels so good. And then we're just going to take our hands anywhere on the insides of your thighs, and we're just going to try to straighten our legs the best we can. And we're going to open up our thighs for just a wide leg straddle on our backs. And I'm keeping my feet flexed. I'm just trying to keep the backs of my legs engaged. You can point and flex your feet a few times if you like. That feels wonderful. Maybe circle them in one direction. And then switch directions. Circle it in the opposite direction. And then take your hands to the outside of your thighs. Gently guide your legs towards the ceiling. And then press your palms down into the floor. So we're in Supta Dandasana. So we're in a reclined staff pose. And see if you can push everything that's touching the ground into the mat. So the back of your head, your shoulders, your upper back, your lower back, your tailbone. And it's kind of hard, but if you try to root all of the corners of your body, you'll find yourself shifting back and forth, going, oh, I gotta press that part down. Keep those feet nice and flexed. And then pull your belly into your spine. So you're pulling that belly in your spine and up towards your ribs, engaging that core. And I'm just gonna do just a little bit of core work. You can pass on this if you want, but you're gonna lower on an exhale, lower your legs. You can keep your head on the floor and your palms on the ground. Inhale, bend your knees. I've learned this one from my yoga instructor. And exhale down. Inhale up. And then if you want a little bit more, just bring your hands, interlace your fingers at your skull. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Try and keep that belly into your spine. Let's just do one more inhaling. Exhaling. And then bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Rock from side to side. Now you're going to have a choice. You can roll to one side and then bring yourself up to seat. If you'd like, take your hands underneath your thighs and then rock up and down. Giving yourself a nice little massage on your spine. And then come up to a seated position. Let's go ahead and inhale our arms up. And then we're going to take our right hand behind us and our left hand is going to come on our right knee. Inhale, nice and tall. And then exhale, turn your head to look over that right shoulder. So we're getting a nice twist. You're going to feel that beautiful twist in your back. And then take that chin and look over your left shoulder. And you might hear my husband's footsteps walking by as we're filming. But that's okay. Because, you know, I'm at home. And then come back to center. Inhale your arms out and up. And then take it to the other side. So your left hand comes behind you. And your right hand comes on your left outer knee. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And with each inhale, we lengthen. And then each exhale, we just deepen our twist a little bit more. But don't do too much because, you know, we're still at the beginning of the practice. We don't want to overdo it. Know your limits, everybody. And then turn your head, look over your right shoulder, nice. And then come back to center. Inhale, your arms come up. Take that left hand right down beside you. Press your left palm into the ground. And then look up, reach high, high, high to the sky. And then bring that right bicep by the ear. So we're fanning open the right ribs. And then come back up to center, inhaling arms up. And then right hand comes down beside you. Lift that left hand high, high, high to the sky. And then fan open the left ribs. Feels very good. You can feel that whole side body stretch. And then part of your left back. And then come back to center. Point your fingers towards the front of the room, and then we're just going to come forward. See if you can keep your back straight just for a minute. And then if you want, bring your hands down. And then just we're opening up the hips by walking those fingertips maybe a little bit forward. You do not have to come down and touch your face on the ground. Just wherever you are is perfect. Just remember to keep breathing wherever you are. And if your tailbone is coming off the ground, just kind of give it a little push back. And then go ahead and walk your hands back. Change the cross of your legs. because we want to do both sides. You're going to find a big difference in your side that you're used to doing. As you can see, my right leg is up a lot higher on this side. That's the way it's always been, and that's okay with me. So I'm going to, this time, interlace my fingers behind my back, and I'm just going to pull my shoulders back, so we're going to kiss those shoulder blades together. And I'm going to just inhale, look up, opening up my heart. And then we're going to fold forward. And then if you can, you're going to lift your shoulders, your arms off your lower back. And if you want, just go ahead and curve your spine, looking down, letting your head hang, opening up the spinal column. Wherever you are is perfectly fine. You can go ahead and rock from side to side. So wherever you are, like I said, perfectly fine. One more breath. And then we're going to go ahead and come back up to center. And then you can take those hands away from each other. And let's go ahead and just roll over onto our knees. And then walk yourself back a little bit on your mat if you need to. We're going to do cat and cows, opening up that spine. So try to make sure that your wrists are underneath your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. And then you can bring your feet a little bit behind you so they're a little more parallel to the mat. You might not even be able to see them. And as you tuck your toes, I want you to inhale, look up, arch your back. This is your cow. Inhaling. Exhaling. Push everything into the ground. Root into the ground and then push your spine towards the ceiling, tucking that chin in. Oh, it feels so good. And then inhale the cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale. And this is also something where if you want to wiggle your hips or go back or forth a little bit more, this is your practice. Do whatever feels good to you. Let's just do one more of these. Try to move with your breath. And come back to a neutral spine. Very nice. Now we're going to do just an easy transition. So we've opened up a lot of our side hips. We're also going to be opening up our hamstrings a little bit more. But for right now, let's go ahead and let's just walk our left foot forward. So I'm going to start with the left foot. And then just gently bring your hands to your, above your knee, not on your knee, but above, on your thigh, above your knee. And we're just going to go ahead and stretch into that right hip flexor. So if you're starting up here, this is fine. You can start right up here. And if this is what you need, some support, you can do that. If you're used to like bringing your arms up, we can do that too. But just for now, for the sake of stretching out our hips, I'm just going to have my hands right here, relax my shoulders down. And then maybe gradually as I breathe, maybe I might stretch into that front hip, that hip flexor just a little bit more. And like I said, if you're up high, that is perfect for where you should be. If you want to open your heart, you can do that, or straighten your arms. And then if you can, just bring your hands back down to the ground. And then we're just going to shift back. We're going to straighten out our left foot, flex the front foot. Now we're going to get our hamstrings. So we're going to use a wave of breath, inhaling, lengthening. Exhale, fold over that left leg. Inhaling. Exhaling. See how I'm keeping my foot nice and flexed. And then come forward. walk your foot one time over to the left. If you want to turn your foot out at an angle towards your left side mat, you can do that. And then if you have a block, you can put a block down. We're going to go into a lizard lunge. This is going to be a very nice deep hip stretch. If you want to put your palms on the ground, you can do that. If you want to stay up a little higher, that's okay. Like I said, use your block or pillow if you need to. If you're a little more flexible and you can come down to your forearms, you can go there. Just try to make sure that you have equal weight in both of your forearms so that you're not leaning to one side. And if you're not, just back out of it a little bit. And please try to remember that there's a difference between a little bit of discomfort and pain. So if you're feeling sharp pains, definitely you're going to back out or skip something. Typically you would want to take at least 10 to 15 breaths here. We're just for the sake of time, we're going to take about 5 nice deep breaths. And then go ahead and walk your palms back on your face, bring yourself back up, walk that foot back to center, and let's just shift back one more time, getting the back of that hamstring, inhaling, exhaling, folding, and then just shift forward, and then just gently come back to your knees. We're just going to do an easy transition, and I'm going to switch sides, so nothing that's too complicated. And again, you can just bring your hands up onto your knees. You can flatten that foot if you want. Stay here if this feels good, because you're still getting a nice stretch. Otherwise, you're going to move forward with your breath. And then bring those hands, frame that front foot, shift back, flexing the right toes, inhale, exhale, fold over that right leg, continuing that wave of breath, inhaling to lengthen, exhale, folding. One more breath. And then come forward. Walk that right foot one time over to the right. Maybe turn your right foot to the right edge of your mat. And then what you did on the other side, you want to try to do on this side. Each side will feel different. If you need a block, remember, just put that block right underneath you. Otherwise, go into your lizard lunge, and let's take 5 to 6 breaths. And if you haven't already, go ahead and come back up and walk that foot in again. We're going to go ahead and shift back into our Ardha Hanumanasana, our half split, one more time. Inhaling, lengthen. Exhale, fold.
and then shift forward. Very nice, guys. And then just go ahead. Then you can either go right back to your knees. If you want to hold a plank for a minute, you can do that. So, or you can take a vinyasa if you're familiar with that. We'll do that in another lesson. And then go ahead and walk your hands back. Guys are doing great. Let's just go ahead and cross at your ankles if you can, or you can go ahead and come back to your buttocks, however it's comfortable for you, so you can bring your legs to one side if you need to. And let's do a Paschimottanasana, so our seated forward fold. Inhale, arms come up. And then exhale, see if you can keep it straight back. This is also a good place for a strap. I'm going to get my strap and show you how lovely it is to have a strap when you're doing this. Trying to keep your feet parallel to the front of the mat, so you might have to pull your pinky toes towards your face a little bit more. Nice flexed feet. Inhaling straight back. Exhale, try to keep a straight back if you can. And if you can hold on your feet or anywhere, you can also do that if you don't have a strap. And then for the last few breaths, if you'd like to go ahead and round that back, nice stretch in that whole spine. And you can either walk your hands back up your legs, or you can bring your biceps to the ears, bring yourself back up. Maybe bring your hands behind you, point your finger or point your toes towards one room, and then see if you can lift your buttocks. Let's just get a counter stretch in that back. Drop your head back, reverse plank, and then come back to your buttocks. Very nice, you guys are doing great. And then go ahead and bring your feet just a few inches from your buttocks. And we're just going to lower ourselves down. Take your time, because maybe you want a little bit of core, and then you also feel a nice stretch in your back as you're going down. Taking your time. We're almost there. Press your palms into the ground. Pull your feet a little bit close to your buttocks. And then let's just gently push up off the mat to a bridge pose. You can bring your shoulders underneath and bring your shoulder blades together and interlace your fingers if you like, or just press your palms just like I'm doing. And then on your next exhale, just one vertebra at a time, lower yourself back down to the ground. And then take your right foot, and I want you to just go ahead and bring the ankle above your knees, keeping it nice and flexed. And then if you can, go ahead and lift up your left foot. So this is a wonderful hip stretch. And then take your hand and you're going to weave it through that figure four that you've made. And then just go ahead and clasp your hands together behind your thigh. If you like to go on your shin and you have very flexible hips, that's great too, however you want to do it for yourself. Just keep those feet flexed, opening up that right hip. So the right hip is guiding towards the front of the mat. If you need to use your forearm to guide it a little bit more, just give it a little bit more, just know what your limits are. And I'm going to try to relax my shoulders back down into the mat and lengthen my neck again. And then switch sides. So your left leg is going to come just above your right. And then we're going to weave and lift that right leg. And we're going to keep everything flexed. And then go ahead and bring those shoulders back down to the ground, lengthen the neck. Feels so good. And I like to close my eyes as much as possible because I'm not worried about what anybody else is doing. I just want to feel what's going on. One more breath. And then go ahead and release that right foot back to the ground, and then let your left foot back to the ground. Go ahead and stretch your feet towards the front and your fingertips towards the back. Nice stretch and reach. Again, stretching for the right side and the left side. And then again, bring your knees into your chest, however comfortable it is for you. And then we're just gonna do one last little stretch. So bring that left foot down onto the ground and then stretch your right foot up towards the sky, flex that foot, and then lift your head and shoulders and walk your leg up as high as you can. It's okay if you're even down here. This is also a great place to use a strap. So you're gonna just put your strap over your foot, and then you're gonna come back down wherever you're holding on, and then bring your head and your shoulders back down to the ground, flexing that foot. And then straighten that left leg out on the mat, just a little extra. And then if you have a strap around your leg, you're going to take your strap in your right hand. Otherwise, just hold on wherever you can to that foot. We're going to open up that right foot to the right. So we're going to open it up, let it drop open. And I can say open a few more times. And I also have my left hand on my left hip to try to keep my hip down on the ground. And then just release that right leg to the front of the mat. So you're just gonna sweep it around. And then just for a moment, feel the difference in the length between the two legs. And then go ahead and bring your feet back onto the ground, right just a few inches from your buttocks. And then we're gonna lift that left leg up, flexing that foot, lift your head and shoulders, and then walk yourself up your leg as far as you can go. And then as you come back down, you're bringing that left leg with you. Again, you can just hold on to your thigh or just above your knee, just unlock your knee area at the back of your knee. Strap is wonderful. I love straps. Continue to lengthen that neck, pull that shoulder down to the ground. And then straighten that right leg out. Flex both feet. And then with your left hand, whatever you have, a strap, or if you want it on your ankle or the inner thigh, you're gonna open up your leg to the left. And then sweep that left leg around to meet your right. You should feel a little bit more equal now. And then stretch your arms overhead one last time. Stretch and reach to each side if you would like. Bring those knees into your chest. And then drop both knees to the right, opening your arms like a T. And then maybe look and gaze over your left. If you would like a little more, take your right hand and just kind of rest it on your left outer thigh. That'll give you a little bit more of a pull in your hip. And then come back to center. Maybe give your knees a nice little hug in again. And then drop them to the other side. So you'll be able to experiment with where your knees are. You'll feel different pulls in your hips. You might feel a little more hip action if you lower your knees. You bring them up to your armpit, you'll feel a little bit more in the upper back. And then come back up to center. Give yourself one last hug and thank yourself. Thank you for being here today. My back is probably going to feel a little bit better after this. It might already feel a little bit better. Rock from side to side, massaging that back again. And then go ahead and stretch your legs out to the corners of the mat. If you would like to get a little more core work, tense everything up, making fist with everything, your face, your toes, and then drop down. Open your mouth after you inhale. Let it all out. And if you'd like, just tuck your shoulder blades in slightly, lifting your chest. Relax everything back down onto the ground. Palms are facing up at about a 45, letting your armpits breathe. Feet are to the corners of your mat, flopping open for your final resting posture. Shavasana. Sink into that mat. Relax. And then you can go ahead and come back to your regular breathing. So we all have that shallow breath. You can come back to that just shallow, normal breath. Keep sinking into the mat. Release any tension that you still feel in your body as you inhale. Scan your body, exhale, just release down into that mat. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, just start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, just reawakening your body. Maybe roll your wrists in one direction and your ankles, and maybe reverse that. And then stretch your arms overhead again. Stretch and reach. Bring both knees into your chest. Rock from side to side one last time. And then you can either roll to your right or roll to your left. If you want to rock up and roll or drop down your spine, you can do that too. But just for now, since we were taking it easy on your back, we're just going to roll to one side, resting your ear on your bicep. Keeping your eyes closed. And when you're ready, press your palm into the ground. Slowly bring yourself up. Try to keep those eyes closed if you can. And we're all going to meet in Sukhasana, easy cross leg. Hands at your heart center, Anjali Mudra, prayer pose. And then bow your head. And I just want to thank you for watching this today. I hope it helps your back. I just want to thank my yoga instructor, Susan Guglielmo, which I've been with for years and years and years. Also the one who certified me. And an honorable mention to Peter Grauer. He's also one of my instructors. I'm going to end with Om If you would like to join me, please feel free. The vibrations feel great. Thank you so much for coming today and for practicing with me. You're all just on your way to being yogis. Namaste. And if I